Good morning, everyone. Hola, ¿cómo estás? For those of you who are perhaps tuning in because you're bilingual, I'm doing my best to practice my Spanish class and education. Shout out to my Spanish teacher, 𝙉𝙚𝙬 𝙅𝙤𝙗. I've missed you over the past several weeks. I know you've been traveling, and I've been busy just trying to get started with the new year. So for those of you who are tuning in today, either watching this as a live stream or watching this on demand as a recording, welcome to today's second episode of our series, New You, New Job, and New Home. If you perhaps missed our first episode, which was 2 weeks ago, no worries, you can get that on demand. Our whole conversation that is being live streamed and recorded is to share with you what we call content, information of value to impact the new you, help you perhaps transform yourself, transition to a new job, perhaps a new career. And then the last part, I certainly have enough resources, friends that partner with me to help with this last bit, which is transitioning you to your new home, whether it be a new home that's a few blocks away or a new home that's several hundreds and thousands of miles away. It doesn't really matter too much. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Let me bring in my first guest today. But before I do, I'm going to share this with you, right? This time of the year, we all see a lot of content, tons of commercials from gyms, fitness places. Why? Because, well, it's that time of the year where we're trying to improve ourselves and get better with our health, strength, etc., etc. So for today's episode, I want to welcome in first Chris Jakubiak. But before I do, let me tease you with this thing that he showcased that I watched, and then we'll ask him about what does for us. So let's do that.
Our bird dog, you're going to keep your back neutral so you're not rounding or collapsing your spine. You're going to use your hip to kick your leg back, pushing that heel all the way towards the wall behind you, activating that glute, reaching the opposite hand out in front of you. As you kick that heel back, you want to try to keep those hips square towards the ground, arm completely reached out.
Thanks for watching. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Chris.
If you like what you saw, leave a comment below. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.hustlefitness.com.
So let's welcome Mr. Hustle Fitness, my friend, Chris Jakubiak, into the room. Chris, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, doing okay. Last week I fell victim to a busted water pipe.
Oh, that's not fun.
It's not fun, but tying it into what you do, because I remember this one thing you've always shared with your audience, and on occasion I benefit from your tips and knowledge, which is, you got to build strength, you got to build your agility, endurance, blah, blah, blah. So yes, I practice all of that important stuff that you share with your audience because we had to move things around, et cetera, et cetera. And the good part of it was I wasn't as sore and we got it done.
That's good. It's a sign you're staying strong.
So the first question is, what does the bird dog do for us?
So the bird dog is essentially a core stability exercise. So
that's what
it's a great, we sort of do it as part of a warm-up or like an extended warm-up typically, just to kind of keep people moving and then help them really just stabilize through their trunk. as we're working out, it's kind of like that's a really important thing to kind of get those muscles working properly and working together, like create that connection between the upper and lower body when we're doing, an exercise program or exercise plan. It's also like it's a good test of rotary stability as people are, is one side going to be a little stronger than the other? And not that that's necessarily good or bad, but it just helps us as we're planning our workouts and as we kind of progress and see what we're doing. It also helps us look at hip and shoulder mobility too. So it can be a good assessment tool for us as trainers.
Okay. And I think I remember this from you before, which is it's very natural, right? Men or women where one side of our body is stronger than the other, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Generally,
Okay.
your dominant side, I write with my right hand. So my right side is typically stronger. I have a injury to my left shoulder too. So that kind of comes into play, or previous injury, I should say.
Okay.
But
It's
yeah.
all it's from all that jujitsu
Yeah.
teaching and training that you do, right? There you go.
It was, yeah.
So it's the whole idea of driving toward my fitness goal and your audience's fitness goal to create a better balance so that the strength is not just on one side, but it's balanced, right?
Yeah, exactly. To go to your your pipe situation, if you have a weakness somewhere, like if there's something that you're not training, or maybe you're overtraining something and then it becomes weak, you're going to kind of have a leaky bucket. That kind of talk about a lot. You could have a really strong upper body, but maybe you have a hip issue, and that hip issue can impact your strength in your upper body or whatever you're trying to work at. So yeah, we really want to look at, how people are moving as a whole, so we can kind of correct some of these leaks in the buckets they might have.
Yeah. And as we're all aging, me more than you, it becomes more and more important to drive toward my goal of my endurance, my strength, and agility. Most important, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a lot as we age, it's more important to be mindful about the activities that we're doing. Are we doing things that are like when you're younger, you're a little more, you can be a little bit, I don't know, more risky, I guess, with some of the activities that you do. And as you get older, it's like you need to kind of find more lifetime activities. So, it might be harder for you as a 40, 50-year-old man to find people to play basketball with. So you sort of have to find activities that, like tennis or golf or things that are a little bit more lifetime sports that are, not going to be as strenuous on your body. So yeah, being more mindful in that regard.
Yep. Right on. Right on. Thank you for sharing those great, wonderful tips. How can my audience members, many of other people who don't know you yet, how can they find you? As I'm talking, they certainly know you are the owner operator of Hustle Fitness. What's the easiest way to find you?
They can check out our website, www.hustlefitness.com. And then we're also on Instagram and Facebook. We have 2 locations, one in Willowbrook, Illinois, and then another in Lincoln Park. So if you search either one of those on Instagram, Facebook, we have a video library that we're building to kind of showcase all these exercises in different categories. So we also have a YouTube channel as well. So, but the videos are all on Instagram too. So if anyone wants to check those out, and then you can sign up for a free trial on our website if you want to kind of see what we do and see if we might be able to help you or anyone else on their fitness journey.
Bingo. Love that. Thank you for leading us off in today's episode as one of our wonderful guests and experts in what you do. Let's now bring in Anne-Marie Gunther. Anne-Marie is otherwise known as That Girl Organizes. So Anne-Marie, with what you heard from Chris, let's get real. You help those clients, organize their stuff And as we can probably all lean in a little bit and kind of nod our head like, yeah, I probably got a lot of stuff. So as you help your clients organize their stuff, they're accumulating boxes and boxes of stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is actually my oldest client I'm working for, have been the last 5 days. She's 94.
Wow.
Talk about accumulating stuff. Woo! I've been through 30 years of records so far, and I still have a whole lot more to go through. So
There you go.
boxes and boxes, and they are heavy. And if you don't put them carefully, Chris, you know what happens? You slip a disc, hurt your back, pull your hip. I mean, I have to be careful too, because I'm in that category.
Very true. Very true. And for our parents or friends' parents or older friends that certainly are living longer because they benefit from, better fitness, better medical technology.
Yes.
They still have to make sure that they're not overdoing it. And that's where you come into play. You help your clients get to their next chapter by getting rid of the stuff that they don't want, that they don't need.
Exactly. And my biggest tip with that is do it earlier rather than later.
You know what? That's the same tip I hear from Chris.
Well, I completely agree with him. I wish I would have known where I'm at now 3 years ago. I would have worked out a heck of a lot harder and eaten a heck of a lot better. So yes, I would say if you can exercise really well by 35, you're probably going to be okay, but you need to keep it up.
Yeah. Like a lot of the things that we do, the earlier you start, the better. And of course, in your line of business, Chris, it's all about commitment to the plan, right? You're going to stay committed to doing the necessary things to get there. Let me go off on a quick humorous tangent. Chris will know what I'm talking about. Anne-Marie, who's your celebrity crush?
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey. Oh, yes, the guy with all the hair.
Before he was Dr. McDreamy.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, he was on where he was the high school student. Can't Buy Me Love, something like that. Was that it?
Yes. He's been on a bunch of love movies and, all the romance love stories, but I thought he was adorable way before he was even popular.
Okay. All right. The reason why I asked who is your celebrity crush, Anne-Marie, is because as part of Chris's fitness training, he always brings it up to be a motivator so that you do it correctly in the right form, et cetera, et cetera. So as you're doing what you're doing, moving all of those boxes around, Anne-Marie, think of Patrick Dempsey. That's what we'll be knowing about you as well. All right, let's now welcome my next guest.
Yeah, I have to be.
Are you back with us? Yeah.
Here and there, you're glitching out a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I'm not moving.
Okay.
I did hear some of what you said, and I think I know you were going with that. I know Chris's philosophy is to have really good posture and pretend that your crush is in the room watching you. So yes, I do think about that all the time, because the second I do not have good posture is when I hurt myself. And
Bingo.
I can't be out of work for weeks. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Glad that resonated with you.
Yes, I remembered. I thought it was genius.
Yeah.
Let's now welcome into the conversation my next relationship, my next guest, Angela Mariani. She has been a part of the orbit, Anne-Marie, of what you drop your value into, which is, you've helped these households accumulate all of this stuff, maybe, right? But maybe that's not their issue, but they just need to get to the next chapter of their life event, which is maybe like Angela Mariani, they want a different lifestyle. They need to be closer to, like some of my clients, they need to be closer to their adult children for obvious reasons, or grandkids. So let's welcome Angela into the room. Angela, How are
Good
you?
morning. Good morning, Bill. How are you?
We're doing well. So I was teasing the audience with just a little bit of what you do. And what you do is you help people, you help households change from one last lifestyle that they don't want anymore
Right.
to the lifestyle they want, right?
Correct. Yes.
And you did that yourself personally, right?
I did. My husband was retiring, and we like warmer weather, so I started getting my license in Florida and traveled back and forth once a month. And COVID hit, and we ended up buying our full-time house there. And now I come up north once a month to work. So that's what I've done, and it's great.
What is the most challenging thing, Angela? I'm going to put you on the spot now. What is or was the most challenging thing for you and your family when you made the commitment to change your lifestyle?
Well, my adult children and my new grandson are here, so it is difficult sometimes to leave your family. But, my husband retired, and, we can be down in warmer weather and exercise, Chris, more outside. We can walk. Many people play pickleball is a big thing down south in Florida where I am. So it just made sense for us. We're getting older. We don't like the cold any longer. And so we did our transition down there. And I just tell the kids, whenever you want to come, I will buy you a ticket. Come on down, because I'd rather see them in Florida than always be coming back to Chicago.
Yeah. Did you, Angela, did you plan ahead, obviously with enough time so that you could organize yourself, declutter, which is obviously Anne-Marie's wheelhouse? So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So, when we were starting to transition, obviously we did declutter. We didn't take any winter things with us other than, what we need to travel back up here once a month. So, yes, you just learn to get rid of things. After my husband retired, we really just went through all the clothes we haven't worn, stuff I gave to my kids already. I'm like, here, start taking these things. We're in our upper 50s, and, it's time. Now we have 2 households full of stuff. So, we really had to go through everything, and we were not going to move the whole household to Florida. That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. One of the things that I've heard through my relationship with you and through some of my clients who are at least chattering, talking about this type of change is the question that they face. Where do we go? Not so much where do we want to go, but what if through your help, Angela, through your team's help, what if the home that they want to change from sells so quick? And the question that I hear from a lot of people is, where do we go in the short term? Any thoughts that you can lean into, share with our audience members who are thinking about this as well?
Yeah, we have lots of people who, I've been doing this for so many years, transitioning people from Illinois to Florida. Sometimes they just simply downsize in Illinois, and keep something here so they can go back and forth and see their children, grandchildren, whatever. I always tell people, plan a little trip. If it is Florida or wherever you might be going, go there for 4, 5, 6 days, drive around, get a feel for the area. See what you like, make sure you're near things that you're used to up here, Costco for sure, things like that. People want their stores where they shop. So, I tell them drive around, make sure it's going to have everything that you're pretty much used to. So that just makes the transition a little bit easier, familiar things. But most people, they kind of know when they get to a certain area, this is it. This is what I like, it's beautiful here. It has what I want, if they like boating or if they like golfing or whatever it is they might like, they tend to gravitate to those areas. And it's before you buy anything, check it out for a while and make sure it's ultimately where you want to end up.
Yeah, do a little test run.
Right. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as we learn from your own personal experience as to how you help households transition from the lifestyle that they don't want anymore or less of to the one that they really want more of. Wrapping up with the same question I asked Anne-Marie, who's your celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh. I honestly don't have one. I work 24/7. I don't even watch TV or movies. It drives my husband crazy. He's like, don't you know this one or that one? And I'm like, no, I don't.
No.
I'm so bad. So I don't have a celebrity crush. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you that the next time I see you, just to tease you in this conversation. All right.
I'll have to think of one, huh? Okay.
So let's now welcome into today's conversation, Catherine Brukalo. Catherine, by the way, we have so many female bosses, female drivers in the room. By the way, thank you for sharing your time with me, with Chris, and with our audience members. Catherine is a woman of many talents. She helps mamas. That's what I've heard from her a few times, more than a few times. She helps mamas do all of the things that they want to do, but do it with intention and priority. So let's now welcome Catherine into the room. And let's ask Catherine. Catherine, who's your celebrity crush?
I knew this was coming. Good morning, everyone. I knew this was
Good
coming.
morning.
I'm listening to it, and this is what I'm going to tell you. So, as Angela, I don't really have a celebrity crush, but
No?
when I was a kid, I would say the closest thing to like my favorite slash celebrity crush male actor was Yul Brynner. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So you like the clean shaven bald look
I
back
don't
then?
know if it was that. I just, he could do a wide variety of things. You've got, the westerns, you've got the musicals. I think it was more kind of the Renaissance Eastern European man for me.
Got it. Got it. I hear you. I hear you. So Catherine, why do your clients, the people who benefit from your help, why do they call you the coach, the attorney that helps mamas do what they need to, do what they want in the time frame that they have?
Well, I think a lot of it is the mindset, and it's a different kind of support. It's holding space for folks with what's going on, but also looking forward. So you have folks asking a lot of times, well, I've gone to therapy, or there's therapy. What's the difference? I'm not a therapist. I'm an attorney and I'm a coach, but there's these aspects of going back and figuring out, well, what has happened, what's affected, what's happening now, what was going on when you were a child, how were those relationships? And I'm not saying it doesn't play into it at all, but we come to where you are and where you want to be. And what can we do to get you there? And we want the mamas to be able to be calm. We want them to be able to concentrate on work at work and home at home. So not coming back and kind of having guilt about being at one and not being at the other, taking away this yelling, snapping, and feeling bad about their time away. So I work with mamas one-on-one, and then I also offer workshops at places of employment or groups or organizations, and we talk about things such as building confidence, showing up with confidence, effective time management, leadership, delegation, receiving feedback without being defensive, and giving feedback in the way that it can be taken as positively as it can from your perspective, as well as others that folks call me about, and we kind of tailor these programs based on the needs of their group.
It's wonderful that you have such a clear focus and intention in serving that group. Because when I when I first was introduced to you, I was introduced to you because of your legal expertise, perhaps helping those mamas transition from their previous chapter to their new chapter, doing their own thing. And like like Angela and Anne-Marie become their female bosses of business and drivers. Do you think that for those mamas that were stay-at-home moms and now transitioning to be the breadwinner or income earner, the more dominant one, is that where you feel their obstacles and struggles are the biggest and greatest?
It is a shift. It is definitely a shift. And I think that depending on the person and the context and what they may have been doing or what they may have heard, as women generally, or folks socialized as women, the older we are, the more we may have this expectation from outside of kind of, be polite, be nice, be quiet, sit in a corner. Okay, I'm not that girl, as you know. So I'm not saying that I'm not polite, but I'm sure as hell not going to sit in any corners. So that's what it is. But I think that there are changes that we go through, and to be honest, I was going through some posts of some of my colleagues on social media the other day, and I saw someone mention, if you want someone to get things done, if you want to hire someone who's going to get things done, hire a mom. And a lot of times moms may forget that there are the skills, some people may call them soft skills, these skills, those skills, I don't care, they're all skills, guys. Okay. That you have, that you've been practicing the entire time. So if you haven't, hey, I used Microsoft Word, or I spoke one-on-one with clients over the phone. Yeah, you sure as hell did. You scheduled all those things. You did. There's a way to help folks see and understand what they have to offer that perhaps they haven't appreciated as something they have to offer an employer in a context of staying at home. But there are a lot of opportunities. This is January. This is the beginning of the year. We have folks who've already gotten their budgets in order in, whether it was the end of Q3 or Q4 last year. And this is the time folks are hiring for mamas who need help going through their resume, or mamas who want to do a mock interview or talk about their interviewing skills. I'm definitely available. I do have I don't know if you'll allow Bill, but a consultation link for me. I'm happy to paste it in the notes for anyone who wants to reach out in that avenue to see if there's an opportunity for us to work together, whether you're looking for a job, looking for a change, just looking for a little bit more calm in your space, or making some changes with regard to prioritizing so you can spend time on yourself. You can do those movements, get out and move your body and walk. And folks, I know Chris will agree with me. If you have 10 minutes to move your body for 10 minutes. No one is going to tell you that you've got to go to gym for, 1 to 3 hours with travel time and do all the things in order to prevent those change, or as much as you can with regard to the changes that are happening in your body, because those 10 minutes are going to count. And 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're going to build up from those 10 minutes. And also you can be grateful as hell that you started today with the 10 minutes so that you can build up to where you're going.
Spot on. Great message. And just like what Anne-Marie touched on, you got to start. The sooner you start, the better. Chris certainly, I know, will attest to that. And yes, a commitment to doing something intentional for 10 minutes, you build on that, right? The next day it's 15, stack on it another 5, and eventually, you're going to have a 6-pack like Chris, which I'm trying to get there, Chris.
Is that guaranteed?
I'm not really sure women's anatomy is made for that. I know people train it for it, but I mean, I think if you're not like a bodybuilder, you're not doing shows. I don't know that that's required. I mean, I frankly don't want a 6-pack.
But we do want to live longer. We want to have more endurance and not get super tired. Right.
that. Yeah, I want to be able to, ski with my kid or walk around or be mobile when I'm like Anne Marie's 90-plus-year-old client and move boxes of my stuff out of the way.
Yeah, Anne-Marie, I've got some new clients who is facing, I think, a daunting task. So I'll go offline and share with you more details after today.
Yeah.
So audience members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sharing your time with us in today's second episode of New You, New Job, and New Home. In our upcoming episodes, don't be surprised. You may see some of these wonderful experts, female bosses, drivers, lean in even more and share with you information of value. But some of our upcoming guests will be talking about new job opportunities. We all know without the right thing that you're committed to for a good part of your day to earn your household income, none of the rest of this may matter as much. Why? Because we're doing what we need to do for our own personal why. So audience members, Chris, Anne-Marie, Catherine, Angela, thank you for sharing your time with me, my audience, and your audience today. As we wrap up, you guys stay safe. Angela, have a great time with your grandson.
Thank you.
It's wonderful that, you're young, you're fit to be able to spend that time with your grandkids. It's
Trying.
yeah. So that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Until we see each other in about 2 weeks.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.